Hi guys, this is Nereida La Sirena, and one of the reasons why I decided to make this video is because I hadn't been on Facebook for a while, and when I went on there, there was so much, as a healer, we really try to be compassionate. Because we actually feel for the people and their pain, because you're doing what you were taught, and at the time it sounded like a good idea, and so the parents did that, and we ate a certain way because, well, one, there was less harm in the food, especially here in the United States. Second, it was what the people were used to, like canned food. That was for the military back in World War II. So when the men came back, they continued. They had all this excess. And so the men continued, oh, that was good. That's what the military gave us. Well, let me tell you, when you're starving for food, even if it's military, it's going to be delicious. Okay? 3, a lot of people don't understand that who provided the coursework and who provides, the ideas for the FDA. Okay? And so some people say, oh, I use the pyramid, and I'm just shaking my head. So many people don't want to accept that, this country is run by pharmaceuticals, okay? And so they get you sick so that way you can buy their stuff. Another thing is, I'm going to just be honest. A lot of you really want to do good. You go to the doctor and think you're doing good. Let me just tell you, our Western doctors, unless you're going to Europe, is not going to be any good. Better go to Costa Rica, okay? You'll get a very honest opinion. Over here, they're going to try to push medicine on you. Now, I'm going to tell you something. One of the reasons why I came into this field of the health field, since I was young, my mom always had us, eating well. At the time, what was considered well, okay, and eating vitamins, and my grandmother was, making sure we had herbs there when she was around, and we learned about, the different herbs, chamomile and peppermint and rosemary, and we would play with them, look at them, smell them, and so I grew up with health, and then, we were physically active. We were swimmers, water polo players, gymnasts, dancers, okay. And so being active, we always knew, and that those were ideas that my mom brought over from when she was in Europe. And so one thing, though, also was the perspective. They didn't allow you to whine and bitch and get into your pain. You really need to know that you got to get over it. And if you're hurting, you hurt yourself. Okay? We hurt ourselves. It's our perspective. And so anything genetic, it's because we're doing the same stupid thing that our parents did or other family members. We all have genes for cancer, for diabetes, okay, and for everything else. But what we do with our body is our choice. And a lot of people do the same thing that their family did. Okay, and then what a lot of our families are from other countries, okay, and they're trying to mix in with new stuff which just isn't working, okay. Plus, we have so much more sugar being created, being used. Just like in certain cereals, they want to push, eat all these whole grains, and yet they put all this sugar in the foods. Very bad, okay. You can't, to keep the body alkalized, you cannot combine the the simple starchy carbs with protein, all right? You just don't do that. Complex starchy carbs, yes, but not simple starchy carbs. Let me watch my thumb here. There you go. So, okay, very important. Drinking water, alkaline water. Now, some people, as you get older, are going to become too alkalized, all right? But also, too, people, there's a big difference between detoxing and juicing. I ask all the time my clients, so are you detoxing? Oh, I juice. And I look at them and I said, detoxing. Listen to my words. There's a big difference. Are you taking vitamins? Ideally, yes, if you eat right from organic food, that is from organic seeds. in soils that are rich in trace minerals, we wouldn't need our vitamins and minerals. But that is not the ideal case in 90% of United States. So get over it. If you're not taking vitamins, you're hurting yourself. I'm telling you now. If you're complaining and saying you're depressed, you're fat, you're trying to lose weight, stop putting on camera in front of everybody else how you are a masochist in a slow suicidal state of putting these sugary foods on there. If you are bloated up on top and have that hard stomach, you got liver problems, and you then putting up there, oh, look at this alcohol I'm drinking because I can't handle life, because I have chosen a slavery type of life instead of a life in which I am going to try and prove that I need to escape. You're putting it out there. You chose your life. Well, I didn't. By not making decisive decisions, choices, by allowing life to happen to you instead of you happening to life, you're also making a choice. Okay? You are also saying that is the control. And that is very important. Okay? So, taking responsibility is necessary. Having the outlook. Someone can say the glass is half full. Someone could say the glass is, half empty. Someone could say, yes, it's half to its capacity. Someone else is going to say, hey, is anybody going to drink this water before it evaporates? Or can I use it for something else? It's all a matter of perspective. If you always want to see the negative and you want to play the victim, you're just saying you have no control, especially if you're an adult. That also means you are a masochist. You love pain. All the whining and bitching is because you like it. You think it's attention because you are saying that no, being infamous is better than having no attention whatsoever. Okay? After a while, we healers just don't want to be on Facebook because we see all the pain that our loved ones and friends are doing to one another, to themselves, and we have to refrain from saying a comment. And we really wish, if any of you are my friends on Facebook and you're in pain, you're not exactly the smartest tool, okay, in the shed, because I am here. There's absolutely no pain. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm no innocent pup. I still get pain once in a while. Oh my gosh, yesterday. The other day, we ran out of oil, olive oil. And my grandmother next door had the other oil. We brought it over. Wolfgang thought he was doing wonderful. Thought, a little bit wasn't going to hurt. We made, chips from the gluten-free corn tortillas because I had made some wonderful salsa. Woohoo! Our salsa verde. By the way, you can order this, and if you're around, we do deliver. And by the way, we do deliver. If you guys, need fruit, want it delivered to your work or home already, in orders of $35 or more, we do deliver. So, if you're around the LA area, talk more, give me a call, okay? But anyway, so that way you have no excuse not to be healthy. You can have it delivered to your work or to your home already in the evening. And we also do paleo meals, okay? Some people say paleo, okay? I like to say paleo, the original Latin accent in there. So anyway, but those are choices you're making, okay? And you want to have sympathy because the person is going through a lot of pain. But you continue going through pain, and after a while, you're just an energetic vampire wanting attention and going, until you get grounded, balanced, go to a coach, go to a healer. It's difficult. Another thing to remember too, you can get healthy physically. But that doesn't mean you are healthy from the inside out, because the organs, anytime when an organ is, hold on, I'm going to wash my hands. Hey, I'm back there. So anytime an organ or something is hurting, it's because it's also dealing with an emotion. Okay, the emotion comes first, the pain, the ache comes after. All right, and that's very important to remember. Now, also remember too is, some of you are going, well, let me, If you're more educated than I am, go ahead, question. If you're more educated in the fields, if you're more experienced, great. If you're not, then deal with the truth. I'm not trying to be cocky. It is what it is. I am not going to go to, okay, I mean, I've questioned the doctors. I had fibroids. Boy, how you think I continue going in this field? Okay, I was never had a problem with my period until I was 36. Incidentally, it was when the first time I had a major problem with my period is when a month before I was moving out of my house that I had just sold. And so it was slowly coming about. Then when I was in 2007 late, it started coming with a vengeance. And then I moved. I left the teaching world, the public education, and it just was getting worse. And what was going on emotionally was this whole change. And so, for a woman, it collects in certain areas. Now, of course, if we are not moving around, our lymphatic system that creates tumors, okay, that stuff, the stuff that like when you squeeze on your nipple and the white stuff comes out. Okay, it's a little bit different than when you squeeze from a pimple. But all that's from the mucus or from the lymphatic. It needs to come out in movement, okay? And if we're not moving a lot, it will collect. All right. Also, a lot of people don't understand is because of the thyroid. Thank goodness I don't have a thyroid situation and hypothalamus. But it happens because the spleen is congested. All right, because it's all connected then to your adrenals, which is also connected to your spleen, which cleans out the heavy toxins, okay? So, all that is connected, but also know it's the emotions, all right? Stuff like I had a client over the other day, we were talking about the girl she's taking care of, and the little girl is 9 years old, 9 years old, and she had reoccurring brain cancer. Well, I said, well, that's easy. That means she's not allowed to communicate. And she goes, that's funny because the mother had asked that if any kids bother her, for her not to speak up, for her to learn to ignore it. And obviously that is going against the soul, and so that was an easy one. But again, a lot of times unintentionally, parents are hurting the kids. I mean, especially in this day and age when women are working and they're either not cooking from scratch anymore, they're eating crappily, and they're pregnant, they've been eating McDonald's, they're drinking alcohol, they didn't detox before getting pregnant, so they are putting in this barrel of toxins, okay, a fetus, an egg there, and expecting it to grow within toxin. And then they are emotionally toxin. They're not grounded. This poor child has to disconnect, okay? And then when the poor child is born, they're still feeding it crappily. How many times, I would see that really they don't change the diet. When it's a very big, the number one thing, you have to change your perspective, you have to change your diet, and you have to clear old toxins from the body and clear out old negative toxic belief, perspective, traditional thinking, because that has what caused. Different body types show so much. I mean, goodness, here you can see when they have big asses and thigh issues, they got daddy problems, okay, male problems. When they have really big, here it's they've been worrying a lot. If it's really big and hard up here, they got liver, anger, resentment issues. If the way the child is breaking out, everybody says, oh, it's typical teenager. No, it's not. It's typical that the United States is putting that same crap in their food, eating it. But let me tell you, when I was in Europe, you didn't see the teenagers all like that. Okay, so it's not. You notice the Asian culture before, when they before all the food back in the 70s, 80s, they didn't break out as much. It came to the United States, all of a sudden they would break out because of the reaction. So get this out of your head that old age is typical, getting sick is typical, oh, I can't see, so it's typical, well, it's also genetic. You're giving in, and that means you really don't want a great lifestyle. You don't want to move around, you don't want to have fun, and you're saying, I don't have enough discipline, and I really rather have people feel sorry for me, and I'm going to put it on the international web, so that World Wide Web, so that way everybody sees my mentality, because I don't realize that's what I'm doing. Yes, that's what you're doing. So a lot of things to consider. But if you're my friend and you are on Facebook, one of my friends on Sirena's Wellbeing, okay, you have seen my YouTubes, you have seen my videos, there's absolutely no reason for you to be sick anymore. And on top of that, just those of you who like to quote the Bible, be careful. Remember, the Bible are only subjective stories that were collected and voted on by men. And when I say men, I mean men. Those men with testicles, genitals and all that are not like women's, okay? Back in, it was 200, 300 AD, okay, in Nisian, all right, for the purpose to unite an empire. It was a political purpose. So those stories are put together with a purpose to enhance a belief system, which was one, put down the matrimony of the feminine essence, and second, because men couldn't discipline themselves because they thought it was okay to look at a woman and gawk and think, oh, all she is to provide, instead of saying, hey, snap out of it. Just because I got breasts doesn't mean they go in your mouth. Okay? Discipline yourself. It's for other things too. All right? So, you see someone, you watch what you say to nudists, because, there was a gentleman who said, I told him I was going to nude yoga. And he's like, oh, I should send a drone over there. And I go, why would you do that? And he's like, so I could videotape it. I go, why would you videotape it? Well, you guys are naked. This man is in his late 30s, expressing to me how perverse he is to only think that the human body is for his desire, for his appreciation, instead of the freedom and respecting the freedom. I told him, don't you ever again express that out loud. Because one, you're not a child. Second, that is just very one-sided negative thinking. There's a time and place for that, and that was inappropriate. We have a right as human beings to be free, to be open, and enjoy ourselves as unique individuals, okay? And not that it always, our body is serving for a sexual. So that's also too, those people who say, oh, they need to be modest, they need to cover up. What that person is saying, who's accusing someone else, is, I cannot handle seeing the human skin without thinking perversely. Yes, it's true. So shut it, respect other people and their traditions, okay? By the way, Jesus Christ was not a Christian. He was born into a Jewish family who left for a while to join the Essene sect. So every time you say do as Jesus does or did, think about what that was. And he was a vegan, ate totally raw. All right? So he did turn water into wine. He didn't necessarily drink it. Think about it. Think and read clearly. So anyway, do you know the difference between spirituality and religion? Religion are just a set of rules, hopefully that to guide everybody to happiness by taking different routes and trying wonderfully not to harm anyone. That's why different routes, there's more than one journey to happiness, hence different religions. Spirituality is when you are totally connected and respectful to every living thing. And that is very important. Also, do know that having developed highly developed one of your six senses, either that you're psychic or you're healer and all that, when you're dealing with people who are very highly developed like that, does not mean that they're spiritual. It does not mean that they are understanding of the human psychology or human psyche. It does not mean that they can understand. They could be, if you're going to a psychic who is not very spiritual and very wise, okay, and comes from a negative belief system, they're going to give you their interpretation. All right, so be very aware of that any person you're going who is psychic, okay, a palm reader, hand detailed analyzer, okay, all these wonderful names, okay. Astrologer is also very spiritual, because then they're coming from a loving, healing place of guidance, okay, of unconditional love. All right, very important. Well, anyway, this is Nereida La Sirena. Just wanted to say hi to you guys, and come on, people, I really want to see you guys happy and healthy and blissful. And there's every reason to be that. And I know and down deep inside it feels like you can't. I've been there. But if you really want to jump around again like a child and feel that happiness and that security like a child, then it's time to change your lifestyle. Anyway, even if it's not with me, there are wonderful healers all around. If you know, we got tons of them in the family, and so really, really, if not, you know, there's I know wonderful ones all over the world. So this is Nereida La Sirena. If you liked any part of this video, put a thumbs up. If you didn't like any part of this video, no problem. That meant that the truth really picked a little part of you. And if you put a thumbs down, you're just saying that's true. You know, so I know the truth hurt me, okay? And so that's why I didn't say you, I'm saying we, because I've been there. And I know. And I really wish everybody a joyous, blissful, happy life. Always, always. Chasita.